Hey guys, it's Cutie. What a few wild days it has been. In just those few days, we had some insane luck already, but also a bit of an unfortunate situation that made me really sad. And as usual, we will start from the beginning. But first, I'd like to take a second to be a little bit cheesy here. I wanted to thank you guys for the support on the last video. Don't get me wrong. I'm well aware that 350 views and just over 20 likes in 48 hours isn't much in the grand scheme, but it's a lot for me. So thank you very much for that, and I hope we can continue enjoying a little bit of WoW together. With that being said, if you don't want to miss further videos, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. It's for free after all, and it would mean the world to me. Now enough with the self-plug, let's dive in. Since it's time walking week, the first thing on my mind is of course the 5 time walk dungeons to receive a normal raid item. That is the first thing I've done right away. While queuing for that, I quickly flew over to Ferox Assault just for the chance of a potential upgrade. I will not go into details on the time walking runs, because frankly they're quite boring after all. So while finishing those dungeons, I simply did the Assault, turned in the weekly quests for the low Nifin reward, and did some world quests that either grant me gold right away or the Dragonflight races, since those always contain around 500 gold. Oh right, we also had the vault to open, from that quick +2 Dragonflight we did before the reset. Obviously the item can't be big, so we are just hoping for tier at this point. And well, close enough. Since this is the 4th week of the catalyst, it means we can turn this piece into tier anytime. So I'd say it's a big dub. But for now, the normal raid item reward from time walking.
Please Lord, bless me today with this item.
Who are you praying at?
Oh Dad, I was just mumbling.
We don't rely on some god. Ask the elements for a blessing, you moron.
Damn boomer. Alright, I will do as you say. Not sure what the elements can provide me in terms of luck, but here we go. Yes, thank you, Lord.
Why do I have to guide this knobhead?
So chromatic essence it is. If you're not aware, this is best in slot for loads of classes, including elemental shaman. And considering this goes up to 437 with upgrades, we already have an item we will most likely not replace till the end of the journey. I kid you not when I tell you that I never get this lucky. On my hunter I pulled about 4 wrists item from those. But we will take this with a fair amount of gratitude and move on. Now for the fun stuff. We started out the week with our own key, which was a +2 Vortex Pinnacle. I didn't record this however, and since we 3-chested that run, we go right away into the following dungeon. +5 Freehold. I made the group, and afterwards I can tell you, I should have picked someone with a combat dress. Still, I was very excited because Freehold usually has some neat pulls. I really enjoy doing those bigger pulls when having some Maelstrom available, cause then it just feels so massive. On the trash to the first boss, those big dudes occasionally shout an interrupting shout, so be mindful of not getting kicked there. For some reason, no one kicked a selfie on the boss. Looking at you, melees. So we had some extra fun to spam our stuff. Also, a quick appreciation for power infusion. The haste gain feels so nice. A second priest makes up for the lack of combat dress, at least in my book. I do sometimes catch myself getting a bit horny with casting too early. Funny enough, when I was playing tank, I always got annoyed at ally shamans for doing this. By the way, if you want to see a 0 to KSM journey on the Vengeance Demon Hunter, feel free to check out my channel for that. I think I've put it in the playlist. Now on the second boss. There are only two important things for us. Dodging the grab shot by Eudora and getting as many brew buffs as possible. Those blue swirlies on the ground either grant you haste or crit, so try to take those, but be careful about surrounding boss mechanics. Also kill the barrel if there's one around, just to save a teammate. Here's what I meant when I'm saying I should have picked the combat dress. The healer dying to the boss was a thing that dragged itself throughout the dungeon. I think besides the first, we flopped over on every other boss. And healer life matter, so be sure to get a CR and don't be like me. Sorry for potentially leaving too many trash fights in, but those are super fun to me. Here you can see I was getting too horny again, putting over 200k DPS and 2 globals. That was just too much for the tank to aggro, obviously. Now on this boss, we have Bloodlust and full Maelstrom with all cooldowns to use, including Power Infusion. So let's see how this will work out for us. Almost 73k on single target with an AoE build and 403 item level. Not too bad, I'd say. Though I got pretty lucky and I barely had to move that fight. Finishing this dungeon, also 3 chesting, and on top we got an upgrade. Even though mastery is something we don't really want, it's still better for sure. Next up is Olderman 8. 5 boss dungeon on Tyrannical is always a joy, so let's do that. Again, this is my own key, so I quickly gathered the group, and this time I went with 4 combat dresses, just to be sure. Now, we also have to deal with an affix. Entangling is one of the 3 new affixes introduced in this season. It creates a little root around you, which will slow you down and stun you if you're unable to get out of its area in time. You can deal with this in multiple ways. Either walk out of it, or use an ability that removes slows or snare effects. A few examples would be Hand of Freedom from Paladin, Hunter's Disengage, or our Ghost War form with the right talent. Overall a pretty clean run. Guardian Druid does hella damage now. I'm not sure what they fed them, but keep it coming. Even though we were by far the lowest geared in this party, we were still able to hold our own. This key got upgraded into an 11 Vortex, but I was unsure of 11, so I turned it down to 9. After all, this isn't a speedrun, and I don't want to feel boosted. Pretty quickly after listing, the rest of Shaman and Windwalker queued as a duo. Totally overgeared for this place, so I asked them if they are after the healer trinket, Rain Song, that drops from this dungeon. After telling me yes, I swapped my loot spec to Resto as well, so I could possibly get it to trade it over. But I was unsure if I even could trade it, since I only had one trinket that was higher for sure, and I didn't know which item level will drop here. What can I tell you? I got pretty lucky with my party so far. Not even the DPS being somewhat geared, but rather the tanks, who were usually around the same item level I am, were really good and knew what to do. So this one was pretty clean. Besides that one knob elemental who died on the second boss. And well, do you guys remember how I said earlier something really unfortunate happened? This has to do with me rolling for rest of this round. Rain song dropped. But I couldn't trade it to the healer. I felt genuinely sad that I couldn't give it to him, because I know how it feels when someone else gets the item you wanted. Hope he or she will grab the item soon. Even though I wasn't happy with my overall damage of only 45k, I just coped myself up with that being just a fluke, and this time I kept the following key on its actual level. 11 Natharos it is. In this party I was fortunate again. The 2 DPS queued together with the healer, and the tank, well, again, was pretty decent. The paladin was pretty geared, and warrior he just pumped, man. Nothing else to tell you. He was like 415 or so, but dealt damage like a big boy. I'm not really good at dealing with the entangled for the most part. I run a talent that removes it whenever I pop Ghost Wolf, but that sadly has like a 20-second internal cooldown. So instead of using it on the affix, I tend to waste it beforehand, like a real one. Also sometimes the rotation feels a bit boring, but I'll assume that will go away once I get tier sets. The 2 set will grant a Stormkeeper every 50 seconds, and the 4 set will even increase the amount of Maelstrom generated for our single spells by 50%, while Chain Lightning will have 20% more crit for a certain amount of time. That will be massive as soon as we get it. Now onto the second boss. I really need to talk to you about the way you should handle the chains. When the timer runs out, the anchor of the chain will spawn, and you either need to drag it to the boss, or the boss has to run through it. I usually just get rid of it ASAP. So what I do here is, as soon as the chain spawns, I leap right through the boss in order to make the chain break right away. However, if you're doing it like this, make sure you make it quick. The boss will start spinning pretty quickly, and when you run into his range, he will break anything in your body, but not the chain. Sadly I died because I took one tick of the area that you should avoid, so don't be like me here. Afterwards the run went pretty tame. I enjoyed loads of big pulls. Here on the last boss, the core mechanic is to break his shield as soon as it goes up. To prepare for that, you need to pick up one of those little gold piles that are laying around. Those will grant you an extra ability that does hella shield damage. But whenever you pick one up, it curses you for the rest of the fight, while ticking damage. Luckily Shamans can remove that, so I just quickly removed the curse from myself and also other players whenever I had no important button to press. This could help out your healer sooner or later, so please do that. With that 11 completed, we will end the second episode of our Storm Yeeter. We are far from done for this week, so stay tuned for the next episode. I want to quickly thank you again. I know it sounds very cheesy, but when you're doing videos on your own, you can't really give yourself a fair opinion. So I appreciate you guys for showing me some love. I hope you have the most fantastic day whenever you see this, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.